Hey Prince and Tigers. Okay, so we're going to start by filling in our guided notes, which are the same as yesterday. So really big and really small numbers can be expressed in scientific notation. This is just a shorthand way of writing really big and really small numbers. Then write down our two rules. The first number is between 1 and 9, and we multiply that number by 10 raised to an exponent. All right, so these problems are like what we saw yesterday. We didn't get to do much of it because you didn't have a video, but let's look at these. So the first question, or our first number, is 430,000. We know that our first number needs to be between 1 and 10, so where can I put this decimal in 430,000 so that it becomes between 1 and 10? Let's see if I put it where this comma is. Now my number in front of the decimal is 430. Is that between 1 and 10? No. I need to put it between the 4 and the 3 because now the number in front is 4. Is that between 1 and 10? Yes. Where did the decimal start in this number? If I have a whole number, where is the decimal? Right, it's at the end. So it started here and it ended up here. So our first question says, how many times did you have to move the decimal? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had to move it 5 times. Second question, is this number really big or really small? It is really big. So 5 times and it is big. So now if I write it in scientific notation, it'll be my front number, 4 3/10 times 10 to the 5th power. Because we have our front number between 1 and 9, our 10, and then the 5 tells us how many times we move the decimal, and the 5 is positive because the number is big. We'll go over more examples so we get more used to this. All right, our next one, we have 0.00014. I need to make this number between 1 and 10, or 1 and 9. So I'm going to put my decimal where? Right, I'm going to put it between the 1 and the 4 because now my front number is 0.00001, which is the same as just 1. How many times do I have to move it to get there? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have to move it 4 times. Is this number really big or really small? This number is small. So that means I'll take my number that I have in front, so 1.4, multiply it by 10 raised to an exponent. My exponent is the number of times that it moved, so it's 4. But because my number is really small, it's going to be negative. So 1 4/10 times 10 to the negative 4th power. All right, going on to the next one. I know these are tricky and we're learning it pretty fast, but once we do more problems, we'll get the hang of it. So 34,100. Where is my decimal right now in this number? My decimal's at the end because it's a whole number. If you don't see a decimal, you assume it's at the end. Where do I need to put my decimal? Yeah, I need to put my decimal between the 3 and the 4 because now my number is 3 41/100, which is between 1 and 9. So how many times do I have to move it to get there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to move it 4 times. Before we moved the decimal, was this number big or small? It was big. So is my exponent going to be positive or negative? When my number is big, my exponent is positive. So I have 3 41/100 times 10 to the 4th power. The 4 is the number of times it was moved. It is positive because it's a big number. And this right here is my front number. This is the same as 3.4100. Those are equal. All right, last one. I have 0.0792. First, where do I place my decimal so that my front number is between 1 and 9? I need to place it here. How many times did I move it? 1, 2 times, 2 times. And was this number big or small? It was small. So this means negative exponent. All right, so now if I rewrite my number, it'll be 7 and 92 hundredths times 10 to the negative second power. It's 2 because we moved it 2 times. It's negative because it's a really small number. Negative exponents mean division or fraction. So instead of multiplying this number by 10 to a power, we're dividing it. So we're making it small. Go ahead, try the independence practice on the back independently.